Well, I come from a time when we were using flashlights, and I remember just trying to scan as fast as I can because there might be a set of glowing eyes over here. For those who haven't seen digital night vision and compared it to thermal, I mean, we're talking about, Ford versus Ferrari here. Digital night vision is great, and it definitely has its place, but the first blade of grass, the first tree limb that's in between you and the target just washes out the entire image beyond that. And with thermal, you're looking right by it.
It really allows you to have a more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Night. You can go out, like you said earlier, you can go out for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You can cover a lot of ground. You're not going to sit there and just waiting, hoping.
Yeah.
You'll know. There's something there, you're going to see it. Yeah, I know. I fell out of the high rack on Monday. It was the first.
So how'd you do that exactly? Run us through that.
Was your helmet for thermal or protection?
I don't think I hit my head, but I just was
But
climbing.
you don't remember?
Yeah, I don't remember. I was climbing up the side. And this particular high rack, it needed one more step. There wasn't a step over the tire, obviously. So you could just, like, if you had to change the tire, you could just take the tire off. So it was kind of weird. You'd have to kind of get up on the behind the tire and then skedaddle over and then, make your steps up. Well, I got to the top. I had one hand on the top, and then I reached for a bar that wasn't there.
No. Who moved that bar?
I never did see it. But I was so sure. It's like when you pick something up that's heavy.
Yeah.
And it's light. You think it's heavy and your brain's, and it's kind of, that's
like
that's
taking a
reaction.
step and the step's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stepped and grabbed for a bar that wasn't there. And I was committed.
So could you go head first or foot first down?
No, I kind of got myself, but I was like, okay, how can I get down? Like I kind of fell down the ladder, and then that last step wasn't there. And so I just kind of went for it. And then it was pretty ungraceful.
A little bit of a spill there.
Rifle, it's obviously it was unloaded and no mag in it or anything. And I just kind of threw the rifle and kind of rolled out of it. And
the real question is, did it hold at zero, or did you get to find out that night?
I never pulled the trigger because so we talked about it in the last episode, but I went to the range. I took 2 rifles and I had my 300 Blackhat SBR, and it was just so much fun to shoot at the range that I said, I'm going to take this out.
I'm guilty of the same thing.
Well, I'm hunting with guys with 243s, 6 Creeds, 22 250s.
Yeah, we're
coyote calling. We specifically went out for coyotes, so I was that guy.
Not getting many shot opportunities.
I'm waiting for something to get,
sub 150.
I mean, it's good to 200, but it never happened. Everything they were shooting was at 250. Matt took a couple shots out at 400.
Yeah, those guys are used to some farther shots.
Yeah, so I just kind of was just waiting there. The one coyote that did come in to about 125 yards, somebody else that were down there, they shot it. So wrong rifle for the hunt. And
I did the same thing. I took the 300 Blackout you loaded me actually out to Tornado, an outfitter we sponsor and partner with out in Wichita Falls. And man, every single time I left that thing in the truck, we had a pig at 20 yards.
Yeah.
Every time I carried it on a stalk, we could not get under 150.
Yeah. No,
it never fails.
I had the perfect pig gun built for pig hunting.
Yeah.
On a coyote hunt.
Yeah. So that tracks. That tracks.
Everybody had a couple laughs at my expense. But I mean, Chris, you ever taken the wrong rifle on a hunt?
A few times.
Yeah.
I think I'm going for a coyote hunt just to stalk a group of hogs 200-300 yards and wondering why I'm carrying a 16-inch rifle and a tripod. And by the time we get set down, I'm out of breath, breathing, thinking I'm fat, and realizing, no, did not need this heavy thing for this. Should have got bolt action, something a little bit lighter.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Nocpix podcast. Today's episode, we're pretty excited to be sharing a new product with you. We're going to go through last week's hunts, kind of talk about what gear we used. But the highlight of the night is the Nocpix Bolt. So we're proud to announce this. It's an exciting new product, and there's going to be a lot to love. So stick around, and we'll talk about the product in detail more. Also, make sure to like and follow the podcast. Also, check out our website, nocpixusa.com. Sign up for our blog. We'll be sharing some information on these new products so you can learn more there, and also follow all of our social media accounts. So joined with us today is numerous members of our staff. Why don't we go around the room? Plenty, we'll start with you. introduce yourself. You've been on before, but tell us what you do and give us a little insight.
Yeah, so I'm plenty. I've been hunting pretty much my whole life. Not as much into the predator world, but I've been hog hunting just so much of my life. But here I do lots of marketing stuff. So photography, writing some content. Just it's a mixed bag, but lots of marketing stuff.
Perfect. Cody, over to you. You've been on once before, but refresh
Yeah.
everybody with what you're doing here.
My name is Cody. I'm sales for the Great Lakes territory, we call it. So kind of upper Midwest area. Originally from Virginia, I started coyote hunting, fox hunting probably. I was scared of the dark. I don't know. I was 8 or 9 years old when we were using flashlights. Pig hunting is a little bit newer to me. Only in the past 10 years or so I've chased pigs, but have a passion for the thermal thing and enjoy doing it.
Yeah. What about squirrel hunting?
Oh, look, we had some squirrel at the office I cooked up a couple of weeks ago. He didn't even believe me. It was squirrel.
It was great.
I thought it was a joke because we were having dove. And I thought it was a joke. Somebody's like, did you get some squirrel?
The funny thing is my wife said, all right, there's 3 packages of meat in the freezer. Make sure you grab all 3. And I'm like, man, I think I only had 2 bags of dove in there, but I'll grab all 3. And I get to the office, we're cleaning the poppers, and I'm like, this isn't a dove. This is the squirrel I shot at last weekend with the pistol.
Well,
So we just threw him on the grill
Russian
too.
roulette.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
dude,
great.
it was great. I think that was the showstopper.
Well, once I found out it actually was squirrel, I went over there to get some, and it had damn near been picked clean.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have a mess of bushy tails here one Friday for lunch. It's gonna be a good
We
time.
need to go out for a squirrel hunt. at the
Oh,
office.
dude, it's honestly one of my favorite things to do.
It was good. It was good. Right up there with pigeon. Those are both 2 of my favorites. Chris, it's your first time on the podcast. Finally got you in here. You've been a busy guy traveling,
Yes.
but tell the viewers who you are, what you do around here, and what's your fancy when it comes to predator hunting.
Yeah. And my name is Chris. I'm the East Coast Territory Manager. I've got South Carolina up to Maine. Been hunting for here about 10, 15 years. Started in middle school. Hunting hogs really is what my main thing is. I'm not a big predator hunter. I don't have the patience like some of these guys to sit there and call coyotes. I've got ADD. So if I don't see a group of hogs in one field, we're getting the next and going to the next one. And started back in middle school roughly, hunting hogs out where Lake Lavon is, back before everyone was hunting. But they were paying people for tails just because Lake Lavon was completely just taken over. And not even farm field, just everywhere. Whether it was residential, commercial, didn't matter. They were there.
I live out that way these days, and you must have done a good job because I haven't yet to see a pig on that lake.
I hope we did. Over on the Wiley Rockwall side.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm living up more by the peninsula, and we don't see. I mean, I saw a deer hitting the road the other day. That was pretty rare.
It's a good kill right there.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I mean,
time.
how much has it changed up there with pigs since back then?
Man, there's so much residential now over in Lavon, whether it's Fairview, Wiley, Lucas area. There's so many housing that they probably all got pushed even further out towards in Greenville, you'd say?
They got
Paris
pushed toward
area.
Greenville, and then if you get out towards Nevada, there's a lot of agriculture fields out there.
Yeah.
And we've had some hunts out there and done pretty good.
Yeah, most of my hunting now has turned into over Paris area just because there's so much farmland. You got the Red River right there. Oklahoma, Northeast Texas side, there's thousands of hogs. You're almost dedicated to see them in a field every single night.
Yeah, we went out a couple years ago. We got a cabin in Broken Bow and brought a bunch of pro staffers out there, and we drove back into Texas about an hour, and I think we hunted the entire way back to Broken Bow. I cannot believe how many pigs are out in that part of Texas.
That's where I'm hunting now. So just south of the Red River, and got on this place that I thought it'd be a great deer spot, especially archery deer. I see pigs every single time I'm out there, and feeders are covered up in pigs.
So you're telling me the deer lease you got for a great deal this year?
Oh, it's
might
a
have been
lease.
it might have been a great deal for a reason.
It's a hog lease, yeah.
We got pulled over out there, and we're like, Tacoma, 4 guys, full.
Oh yeah,
We were just going pasture to pasture,
rifles everywhere.
doing 75 and a 45 at 2 a.m. and I'm like,
PVS 14 on driver.
I'm like, oh man, this is it.
Oh, we're
I'll
going
pull
to
this
jail.
over.
We're going to
Yeah,
prison
for sure. We're getting out of the truck at a minimum, right?
Yeah.
A law enforcement officer walks up and license, registration. Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
Comes back, hands the driver a ticket, says, "Y'all hog hunting?" Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, clearly.
At least you knew.
And he says, "Well, kill them all because I'm tired of coming out to traffic accidents with people running into them."
Oh,
So,
wow.
Oh man.
Yeah.
yeah. It was welcome to East Texas.
Yeah, at least they knew what you were doing. That's always a fear of mine. And man, we've had so many close calls getting pulled over 3, 4 in the morning. Never been pulled over one time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a couple of times a cop has whipped around behind us and followed us for a few streets, but never actually been pulled over.
But I mean, how lucky are we to live in a state where you can get pulled over?
And they know what
4
you're doing.
guys in a truck,
Yeah.
8 guns,
Yeah.
everybody's got helmets.
Yeah.
Cops don't even
You
question.
look like you're going to war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of it
In some
gets-
ways you are, I guess, more on the pigs, but
So my intro into coyote hunting was with a bunch of guys who had permission. I think there's this program that you sign up for, and they were hunting on Fort Bliss outside of El Paso. So driving around there and then coming back through Border Patrol, just loaded heavy with all of our stuff. Man, you're puckered up. You're a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
We were all a little nervous. Juan was probably a little bit more nervous than the rest of us, but it was interesting.
Yeah. It's something a lot of people don't think about when, you get into night hunting and
Oh,
you
well,
just realize.
I take a lot of customers I've got in the Great Lakes region. We go to Texas and go out on pig hunts, and the number one question I get is this legal? Are we allowed to do this?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's so foreign. If you're not from a state like Texas, some of the rules we've got down here are just very relaxed in comparison.
Yeah. We take it for granted, I think.
Oh, we
To your
absolutely.
point, you don't realize how much flexibility we have down here until you
For
go
sure.
there. And you're like, what, you have a season? Like, what,
Yeah.
you have to get,
You
like,
put your gun in a case?
yeah.
unloaded with your ammo in the trunk.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What's the point of an unloaded gun?
You got to stop at every field and get ready again.
Yeah.
You can't just
Yeah.
drive out and start hunting.
No, we've got to put a rifle on a tripod. Sometimes if you don't feel like you can just leave the rifle and the tripod in the back, just in the bed of the truck.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's a blessing to live down here.
For
I
sure.
think you don't realize it and you get used to it. So,
Yeah.
So obviously our hunting here is a little bit different. But what is one thing that you've learned hunting in Texas that would carry over to somebody in another state? Like what's one basic thing that everybody should know?
Oh,
when they're starting out.
It's the obvious one, probably the wind. I mean, the wind's going to blow in Texas the same way it blows in Washington. I mean, it's just going to happen, and animals rely on their nose primarily. Whether it's a Midwest coyote or a Texas coyote, if they get downwind of you, they're going to smell you, and so you better watch that downwind side.
Yeah, as soon as that hits the back of your neck, it's
Oh yeah,
time's up.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And case in point, I got winded just over the weekend. Same exact deal, and we set up good wind. Thermal switch, something happens right when he comes in, boom, gone.
Yeah. Chris, what about you when you go up to the Northeast? Obviously the hunting style is a little different, but what's one piece of knowledge that carries over to the Northeast?
Man, I hate to piggyback on Cody, but here in Texas, because I'm hunting hogs, we're stalking them a few hundred yards, and the wind usually isn't that big of a play in some of the stuff. But hunting up in the East Coast with some of the dealers I'm with, coyotes and bobcats, they'll smell you hundreds of yards away. No matter-
Oftentimes they'll smell you where you can't even see them.
Yeah.
And so just call placement. A lot of times what I'll do is put the call upwind of us, 50, 60 yards to try to be where they're circling at. I know the guys on the East Coast have a lot of success doing that. Just tighter quarters.
Yeah.
Plenty. You've been around a lot of states in this country.
Yeah.
What's something you think?
I think scanning constantly, and I think it's obvious when you're in open country, just because there's so much to look at, and sometimes when you're in thicker woods, you almost just you feel a little bit stuck, like there's not a lot to look at. But just be, whether you're glassing during the day or thermal hunting, just be scanning constantly, because it's that second that you put down the glass, that's when something's
They
going to
pop
pop
up.
out.
Yeah.
And one moment can make the difference.
Yeah. So how important is a rangefinder to a new thermal hunter?
It just depends. I would say that if you're a new thermal hunter that's got property, you've got access to places that you don't live on, that you're not at every single day, then it's paramount. If you can't decipher how far a tree is if you've never been there before, and thermal's not going to give you any clues. Now, alternatively, if you're a guy that's hunting in his backyard, only his backyard, you know exactly where your porch is, exactly where that big oak tree is, probably not as necessary. But
Yeah.
if you decide you want to go on a hunt with some friends somewhere else, one of their places, then you're going to need it again.
Yeah. Or if
So-
somebody's borrowing a rifle, right?
For sure.
A lot of times we talk about, getting a backup, because not everybody has thermal, but if somebody
sure.
does, they want to take a buddy out, they go with a secondary
And
rifle.
It largely depends on what you're shooting too. I mean, put a thermal on a 22 long rifle, you're going to need the rangefinder, because the difference between 70 and 80 yards is a massive difference.
Yeah.
Put it on a 22 250, you can pretty much just hold it on him and let him have it.
Yeah. And I think down here, Texas, wide open spaces, rangefinders are given. What about New England, where maybe people don't have as much land, or there's a lot more density in housing, and forest is thicker? Like,
Yeah.
what's how beneficial is it to a first time hunter in the Northeast?
It'd be a massive advantage to some of these guys in the Northeast simply based on a lot. It's very hilly, a lot of mountains, a lot of trees. So one of the big gun rules is knowing what is in front of what you're shooting and behind. And having a rangefinder on it's going to be very beneficial because a lot of scopes have anywhere from a 1x to a 4x space mag. On average, a lot of them are 2 to 4x. And something through your scope looking at 2x is completely different than moving the scope and looking at it dead on because you're zoomed in on it. So being able to know the differences on how far something is, but also actually how close it is to you.
Yeah.
Just for the situational
I'll
awareness.
I'll give you a great example. So I went out this weekend. We're actually doing a whitetail deer hunt. It's an archery hunt. I've got my nephew. He's 15, kind of teaching him how to, hunt with a bow and the ropes. And we've got the Lumi L19 scanner with us. So it's a low base mag scanner. It's 384, and I'm just using it to walk through the woods just to get to the stand. We slip in there, and immediately I see a pig. And I can tell he's kind of close, but I can't really tell how far he is. And I kind of evaluate the situation, and it's, see 2 or 3 pigs, and now 4 or 5 pigs. And I say, all right, well, let's just slip on in here. We'll try to get in the tree. Maybe if we're undetected, come daylight, we can, let you have one with the bow. And so we make it about 10 steps, and I look through the scanner again, and they're on top of us. And next thing I know, they're within 10 feet of us. And I ended up taking the bow, just bare string in the, grabbing the string with my hands and got a shot off on one of them, ended up killing the thing. Let the string go, pigs went everywhere. I mean, some of them even running between us. And so if I had had any knowledge of how far they were when I first laid eyes on them, I would have never walked in that block of woods. But I had no clue. I thought they were at least 100 yards away. Turns out they were 30 yards away.
Big pig far away versus little pig close.
It was It was a lot of little
Yep.
pigs very
Yep.
close, and I misrepresented that as big pigs farther away. And so, if I had a rangefinder, I would have easily just stopped, let the pigs move on. We probably would have shot one with the bow. My nephew would have had a shot opportunity. We still got one, but it was a little hairy. 15, 20 pigs running right by you.
Yeah, I was amazed last Monday when I was out, and I was running helmet mounted thermal, right at 1x, and this nice wide field of view. But you go down to I was running the new Bolt, L35, and you don't think much of, I think it's just, I've talked about it before, but it comes back to the day optics, right? You're thinking in terms of power.
Mhm.
Day optic, 3 power, not a lot or whatever. But it's like every time I would get on the rifle, and I'd be looking around, and I say, okay, kind of get in there, use the rangefinder just to figure out how far is that, that tree, or how far is that dip in the ground. So that way, if something, we were coyote hunting specifically, but something does come out, I just know,
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
shoot, and then you go down to that scope, and you look through it, and you're like, my perspective is completely off.
For sure.
The world just
completely
gets
off.
so flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, with my eyes, it's dark.
And it's difficult to explain if you've never looked through thermal, because to you, it's like, why, you're looking at a field. Why can't you tell? The best way to describe is look at a TV, watch a hunting show on TV, and, try to guess how far that deer is. You'll never have a clue. It's the same exact thing. You're looking at a screen.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing with the Bolt that we're going to talk about is it's an entry price point. It's a great first time scope for any hunter getting into it, or for a backup, but it's got the rangefinder built in.
Yeah.
So I think that's really a good thing for more than just long range shots.
No, I think that's huge.
And
everybody. It's what the market's really demanded recently. I mean, these past few years, that's the trend. Everyone wants a rangefinder.
Yeah. It's not just for long range shooting. I think
No.
that's the thing everybody needs to think about. It could be for how far is that tree, how far is that animal, just in terms of perspective, not bullet drop.
No doubt.
And that's one thing I think a lot of people don't consider when they're thinking about it.
I wish I had a rangefinder this weekend, because when it stopped ranging because those pigs got too close, I would have known it's probably time to pick up the bow and shoot one.
Yeah.
There's your first sign. It says 13 yards. Yeah.
More like 13 feet.
Yeah.
They were tight.
Yeah, definitely. Plenty. What's a scenario where a first time buyer may not consider a feature? They think, oh, that's too advanced. Is there something that you can kind of lean on or point to a time where maybe somebody says, well, I don't need that, I'm just getting started, or, oh, I don't need that, I'm just hunting over a feeder. But maybe there's a feature built into a scope that they had over kind of analyzed.
Yeah. I feel like I see it happen the opposite way a lot. Somebody who's just well, I don't know what I need and what I don't need, so let me have everything.
Yeah.
And then half the time you don't use that stuff. There are a few key features that for different hunting styles you may lean into more than not. If you're creating content, being able to record all of our stuff can. Obviously, that's a great feature. We're all out there recording all of our hunts. Used to not be able to do that.
Yeah.
Now everybody can. Color palettes is another one that people get all excited about, all the options, and so many trade shows. You come back, everything's on full rainbow mode, and then it looks cool, but realistically, you're probably going to use white hot or black hot. So I kind of went the opposite direction with your question.
Yeah.
I think picture in picture is one that for certain hunting styles, that's a really valuable tool. Especially if you're hog hunting and you want to take that really precise shot on that first pig, then they all scramble and you want the widest field of view possible. Turning on that picture in picture is a really valuable feature.
Yeah, you know, to piggyback on your picture in picture, when I took that bolt to the range, you know, the fact that it just automatically goes into picture in picture when you zero
When
it,
you're zeroing,
It's super nice.
something I never even thought of.
Yeah.
And then I went into the zeroing mode and I was like, oh my gosh.
You almost never look at the big screen. You're
No.
looking at the picture-in-picture window the entire time.
Yeah. And you know, the picture in picture and then the white dot,
Yeah.
you start moving the reticle. It's just like little things that you're like,
You take for
It-
granted until you're
yeah,
looking for
It
it.
gets
Absolutely.
so easy that you forget how to zero daylight optics. And it's happened to me 1,000 times over. I zeroed one this weekend, and it probably took me a half a box of ammo to get that thing on paper.
Yeah.
You just
'Cause
moved
I
it
just
the
keep
wrong
moving it the
way.
wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, no. And the days of, I remember when freeze frame was a big thing.
Yeah.
But it's like now it's gone one step further. We have freeze frame, but then we've also got a whole intuitive menu.
Oh,
And then it
yeah.
does the measurements for you just in case you're ever doubting,
Yeah.
you don't hold it perfectly still. And the fact that that's all built in to every unit, every
Yeah.
scope, full featured entry level,
Oh, for sure.
really a lot of bang for the buck for the product. So let's talk about the Bolt.
Let's do it.
I mean, that's the subject of today's episode. I'm excited about this. The market's been asking. I mean,
Yeah.
how long have you guys been hearing customers out there in the field when you're visiting dealers and talking to end users? How long have they been asking for something like the Bolt?
Since I started.
Yeah, since the day we got here.
since
Yeah.
the thermal industry started.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people are wanting to get into thermal hunting, but what scares them is the price point.
Right.
And just like suppressors, people want a suppressor, but back then, because it took so long, they'd wait a year and then they just never buy it.
Yeah.
With thermals, people want a thermal, but they're like, oh, they're $3-4 grand. I can't afford that. I'm going to put it off to the side. But with these two new ones coming out being at $11.99 and $19.99, it's going to be crazy how many people are able to afford this new hobby and also appreciate the sport of being able to go predator hunting, protecting their livestock in the East Coast. A lot of cows, a lot of horses, but being able to take these coyotes and foxes out of the game is going to be really beneficial for some of these guys.
Yeah. Cody, you got any folks up in the Great Lakes territory that's been asking for something like this?
Oh, absolutely. I've said for years, I feel like thermal hunting is the ultimate working man sport. With deer hunting, you've got a day, maybe 2 days on a weekend. And I like to deer hunt, but I've got to be here from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day, Monday through Friday. There are a lot of guys that have kids. I mean, you can put the kids to bed and slip out for a couple of hours and thermal hunt 5 nights a week. And as long as you have a couple of Red Bull the next morning, you're good to go. And so we've had a working man sport, but never a working man's entry-level price. And I think that's what this gives us.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big difference for a lot of guys that have families to support. They can't drop $5-6 grand on the latest and greatest, the best thing out there. These products are going to get the job done for 90% of the thermal hunters, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I mean, I took 2 rifles out Monday. I had a S60R on a 308, and I put the Bolt on a 300 Blackout SBR, which ended up being the wrong choice for who I was hunting with. But I was so excited about it that I didn't take my other rifle with an S60 out, and I think that just goes to show.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we're creating exciting new feature-rich products at an entry-level price point. To your point, Cody, there's never been a better time to be in thermal. I mean, can you think plenty of anything that's been
No,
this?
and I think like so much of what we've built our name on is just the tech and pushing those limits. And the byproduct of that is as the sensors get better, the tech gets better, we get more efficient at making them. And now there's a trickle down. And so the lower end stuff that used to be expensive, we can now make it not only better than ever before, but more affordable. And so I think there's a lot of guys who are super serious, like the contest hunters, who get way into this. Kind of the last podcast episode, y'all talking about all of the strategic, contest hunters and who want the high end stuff. But so many people, like you were saying, just dabble in this stuff, and it was either you're in or out based on the price of this stuff. But now, if you just dabble in it, you can have some pretty gnarly tools.
You can. So let's talk about the product more. So the product line is Bolt Series. So Series, we have 2 versions. We have a L35R, so 384, 35 millimeter rangefinder, and then we have a P25R, so 256, 25 millimeter rangefinder. Unbelievable. You alluded to the price. That's a lot of scope for the money. A lot of scope for the money.
It's a lot of scope for the money. I mean, even for the 384, the L35R being $19.99, it's got a rangefinder.
It's got a ballistic calculator.
It's got a ballistic calculator. I mean, we keep talking about all these cool features. One of the coolest features, aside from the tech and the pricing, is some of the memories that a lot of these mothers and fathers can have with their kids. So one thing that I always usually forget about is the live streaming to your app.
Yeah.
If you're in a blind and one, you're getting into hunting, but your child wants to get into it too, you can connect that to your phone or an iPad, whatever it is, put it in the blind with you, and they can see exactly what you're looking for. For $19.99 or even $11.99, you're creating a lot of fun memories for a really great deal.
Yeah. And as a learning tool and a training tool, and like, okay, let me make sure I'm seeing what you're looking at. Yeah, that's great. That's the hog. Take it.
And the features, I mean, you got a ballistic calculator and a rangefinder on the Ace S60R that goes for $7,000.
Yeah.
You've got 384 sensor with the rangefinder ballistic calculator for sub $2,000. That's unheard of.
Yeah. We literally threw everything at this scope and still kept the price within reach for anybody that wants to get into the sport.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
20 millikelvin sensitivity rating. Didn't cut any corners there.
No. And it shows. The image is phenomenal. I mean, it's a 384 image, no doubt. But I think I could take a shot 350 with it without a problem.
Yeah.
It's just pretty clear. I mean, comparing to 384 images from several years ago, they were, one, significantly more expensive and not nearly as good looking as these are.
Yeah. No, I mean, we were shooting at the range, just steel plates. They weren't heated. They'd just been out, and it was, 300-400 yards all day long. I could see a steel plate. I could pick it out.
Yeah.
I mean, no trouble seeing things. I was shooting out to 200 with it with a 300 blackout. I mean, easy peasy, point and shoot. Everything that you would expect out of a higher end scope packed into an affordable, lower price entry option with the sensitivity of some of our higher end units. I mean, what's not to love to that?
Yeah.
What better time than now? I mean, I sound like a broken record, but I mean, it is like you said, you can take your kid hunting now.
Yeah.
At night.
Well, and at $11.99, depending on, I don't know, probably not my parents would have done it, but depending on the parent you are, you could probably just buy one for your son, let him go out with you.
You could, yeah. I might have to repossess that Ruger American mine get my kid his first night hunting rig.
We'll have a bolt on it right now, so
that's right.
It might be zeroed for you.
Is it already zeroed? Hey, heck of a deal. You got any ammo with it?
Might have a couple boxes.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier about having a backup scope.
Yeah.
Even if this is an entry level scope for some brand new buyers, people that have some of the higher end stuff like the Ace H50R, any of the 640s or 1280s, they're going to see this price also and like, dang, I can get this as a backup scope and still save some change on anything else I was planning to get.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think the platform itself, like the physical design of it, is great for beginners as well. Just 30 millimeter tube without a ginormous objective lens. So it sits about as high as just your regular day optic. Makes it super friendly to just take some old rifle that I had. And now that's my dedicated hog rifle or predator rifle. And it just accelerates that learning curve because that part is easy. That part's solved. Now you can go ahead and focus on the hunt.
Yeah. And it's intuitive. It's got all the same kind of control layout of the higher end units. You got laser rangefinder, you get image and video capture all right there. You've got a turret that goes into the menu. You got a quick menu for things you're going to change quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If you do have to go in and zero it, you can get right to it. Again, like we talked about, the picture-in-picture pops right up. The zeroing's easy to do. It is truly, I believe, the perfect beginner scope.
I've said it for years. Our tube style optics, and not just this product, but all of our tube style scopes, are just the easiest to operate. They're the most user-friendly products. For guys that maybe aren't the most tech savvy, this one's going to be the first scope you learn how to use. You'll figure this scope out a day before you figure out the rest of them. It's just very simple. There's a button for everything important you need to do, like take a picture, adjust your brightness. There's a button for it.
Yeah.
And so anything else, probably not going to be used on a hunt.
Yeah, and it's easy. I mean, I didn't read the manual. I never read the manual.
You
But
and
got right
everybody
in
else.
there, zeroed it, got on the app, put the ballistics in, all right there at the bench
Yeah.
without having to even go Google how to do something. So, it's a good time. It's a good product. What do you think would be the ultimate beginner first time thermal buyer platform, Plenty?
Oh man, it depends on if you're hunting hogs or coyotes, but you kind of hinted at it earlier, like a Ruger American or even like a Savage 110, something like that. Just a reliable, accurate bolt action rifle with that thing on it. And 308 if you're hog hunting, maybe 250 or something like that if you're predator hunting. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. Chris, what would you do if you had to build the ultimate hunting platform around the bolt? First time hog hunter, what would you go with?
I'm actually going to give it to the East Coast guys because they're stuck with 22 cal stuff.
Okay.
Getting a strong Savage. My very first gun at 16 was a Savage Axis 243.
Yep.
Still have that thing to this day. And this would be perfect for it. Shooting, I mean, with the 384, like Cody said, you can get clean 350, 400-yard shot, but 384 on the East Coast, a lot of it's going to be that sub 200-yard shots. And even that 256 sensor with the rangefinder will do beauty with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you, Cody, you gonna go upper Midwest, do a straight wall cartridge, or what's your go-to for first time?
I think for a guy that's getting into this, you pick whatever gun you've got because these products are very versatile. And we haven't touched on the ergonomics at all. We did a little bit, but the best way to describe this from a size perspective, it's somewhere between a traditional compact scope and one of our like Ace products, for example. It's a small tube scope. So you'll have no issues with eye relief on a bolt rifle, but it's not very heavy and it's not very long. I think it's a good, one of the things I love about it is just the overall size. Whether it's a 22 Magnum you've got at the house, an old Henry lever gun, whether you've got a Remington 700 style bolt rifle or an AR, I think it would fit on whatever you wanted to put it on.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned the overall length. It plays really nicely with even a 1022 receiver, or I threw it on the lever action.
To be honest,
the old East Texas special right there.
I'll probably put it on my 22
Yeah.
or my 17 HMR. And it's just more of a coon killer, like a little fox gun, really.
Mm-hmm.
And
Squirrel.
squirrel gun. We can go on a good bushy tail hunt with it. I'm telling you, I think this is the ultimate buddy gun, first thermal, backup rifle, rimfire killer. I mean, I think it'll wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, I think one big thing that we overlook is this is going to be a very popular item for your air gun guys.
Yeah.
Any guys that are doing cleaning out barns full of rats, putting on a little 1022 or an air gun.
Yeah.
For how light it is and how small it is and just a feature-rich environment, it's going to do anything you need to do on an air gun also.
Well, and we touched on the ballistic calculator, but through the app, you can actually create your own custom BDC reticle.
Yeah.
So what you could do is if you had a cartridge or like an air rifle that, was known for, pretty fast drop, pretty, good elevation you need to give it for a longer shot, you can create a reticle that matches to that weapon platform. And so whether it's, a 177 caliber air rifle or a 300 Win Mag, you can fit it anywhere in between.
Yeah.
I think we need to have the boys from Utah Air Guns. Justin, this one's for you. Come on out. Maybe we'll come see you. But I know y'all know a thing or two about, cleaning up vermin and running around barns. So,
Oh, yeah. We need to take them up on that prairie dog hunt.
we do.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
22 long rifle with the ballistics.
These air rifles are shooting 500 yards prairie dogs these days.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. I need
And they come with a price tag that's about like our thermal scopes do, but it's on the to-do list, getting one of those things.
Yeah. You know a guy?
I might know a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you know the same guy.
I've met him a time or two. Met him a time or two. So, Plenty, where's a good place for people to learn more about the Bolt series or about thermal in general? If a guy was like, I'm there now, this is a price point I'm comfortable at.
Yeah.
Where do you go to learn more?
Obviously, we're doing this on YouTube. There's a lot of our content on there, but I would say go to our website, nocpixusa.com. You can learn all about the Bolt, but everything we've talked about is kind of more directed towards entry thermal hunters, people who are just wanting to learn, wanting to soak up stuff. There's an article I posted on there called 4 Things You Should Know Before Buying a Thermal Optic. And it's a lot of the key terminology, a lot of the language, a lot of just how to approach the technology. I'd say read that article or just browse through there, check out any of the other blog articles, and you can just really start learning about thermal. And then this will make a little bit more sense in terms of what some of these features are, how to apply them.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we've got a number of great dealers, and that's across the country, not in any one area. Chances are you live within about 2 hours of a shop from someone that's probably going to take this product out this weekend, that's knowledgeable, that knows how to use it, the ins and outs, and what it's going to fit best for. I'd get on the phone with one of these dealers. I really would. And you can get on the internet and find, one that's nearby you. But a lot of these guys are going to put out really good content. They're going to post really good reviews, and they'll tell you how it is. They'll tell you the pluses and the negatives. And I don't think they're going to have many negatives on this one, but you'll get to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, and I think being able to see it, right? When you're
Yeah.
when you're ready to make that buying decision, when you can see it, compare it, touch it, feel it,
For sure.
I think that really is an important part of the buying process. Not just going on and buying something on spec alone, because
It is.
on a spec sheet, things can look and appear to be the same, but sometimes that isn't always the case in reality, right? Like,
No, and I mentioned this earlier, but we have a 384 image today, and we have a 384 image from 5 years ago, and they are not the same.
Yeah.
On paper, they both read as a 384 image, but the viewing experience is not even close. I mean, Angelo, speak to this. What did $2,000 get you 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
yeah,
Were you even getting in the woods with that amount of money, or
you could get a handheld, and I think you were on the road, but I pulled one out of the archives, and we were comparing it, and I guarantee you, without a doubt, the Bolt P25 will knock the socks off out of a 640 that would have cost you $3,500 from 5-6 years ago.
That's incredible.
The technology
And I
the
believe-
sensitivity.
I do.
is
I've seen some of the older units, and I mean, no knock on them. I mean, that's what got us here today.
Yeah.
It's the innovation that we've taken a step further, but man, these things have just gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I mean the display alone in this unit is exponentially better
Yeah.
than what was available.
Yeah. And the displays and the image processing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it in so many industries where it's not all about resolution. Resolution is a key factor of creating a great image, but even lower resolution, if you can process it correctly and appropriately and grade it well, you can get a great image out of that. I mean, that's my phone can shoot 4K, but so can that Sony FX3.
Yeah.
They're not the same, even though they're the same resolution. We see trail cameras that have come from horrible grainy pictures, and then now some that are really high resolution that are still horrible grainy pictures, and some that look fantastic even though they're lower resolution.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the image processing in here is a huge part of the story and how it translates to that display.
Years ago, if you had an OLED display, that was like brands are selling on that alone, and it's like now that's in our $1,200 scope.
It's just a mainstay.
And it is crispy. That
Yeah.
reticle, the contrast, it is amazing. So you're not losing out anything, based on price. We didn't cut the corners of the display. We didn't cut the corners of the image processing, sensitivity. It literally is all there. And then the rangefinder is just like, sprinkles on top.
Yeah.
That's
So-
going to be the question around town is what corners did they cut? And like we've said earlier, these have all the features that the high-end scopes have. I mean, rangefinder, ballistic calculator, I mean, it still has all 7 color palettes. You have multiple reticles. You can build your own reticle, like you said, and reticle colors, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, live stream. I mean, there was nowhere to cut corners and still able to get that price to sub $2,000.
And I think a use case, kind of to go full circle to what we're talking about, kind of my tip at the very beginning of this is just always be glassing. Like there's so many people we talk to who get excited about their first thermal scope, then don't have a handheld. This opens up your budget. So where if you're getting into this stuff, you can get a handheld and a really good quality thermal weapon sight and be ready to go with both of them rather than dumping all your money on your sight and then having regrets that you didn't save some room.
Yeah. No, you can get into a full meal deal. And we had John from Fox Pro on here last week, and he was amazed that, the amount of scanning that we were doing when he hunted with us. He said, so, we're scanning the entire time. You get out of the truck, you get up in the high rack, you're scanning.
And it's not just you, it's everyone you're hunting with.
Yeah.
It's if you got 4 guys, everyone's doing scanning together.
And you see everything. I mean, how many times have you, not seen something?
Yeah.
And it's like, if I just would have had my thermal on and been looking,
It's right in front of you.
you would have seen it. You would have seen it, right, Cody?
Well, I come from a time when we were using flashlights, and I remember just trying to scan as fast as I can because there might be a set of glowing eyes over here. And so, scanning's nothing new to me. But the ability to get on a rifle, cleanly identify a target, and take a shot in seconds, when it used to take me 30 seconds to try to, all right, let me hold my spotlight right here, and oh, you got him? No, I lost him. Hey, hold the light for me. Well, I can't see his eyes anymore. Give me the light back. That whole song and dance, just a nightmare compared to the ease that thermal gives you. And I think a lot of guys, we talk about the Lumi P25. A lot of guys in that $1,200 price range, I mean, you're looking at digital night vision. And for those who haven't seen digital night vision and compared it to thermal, I mean, we're talking about, Ford versus Ferrari here. I mean, digital night vision is great, and it definitely has its place. But the first blade of grass, the first tree limb that's in between you and the target, just washes out the entire image beyond that. And with thermal, you're looking right by it.
Yeah, with the digital night vision, you're still dependent on light, right? It's either visible light or light that our eyeballs can't see, and you're still dependent on visible contrast.
Yeah.
Right? Everything on Earth has heat. You can't hide your heat.
Yeah.
You can blend in. Animals can blend in.
Oh, yeah.
You can have environmental, maybe no light, no external illuminator. Thermal doesn't need that, right? It's going to see if there's anything out there.
Yeah.
And, to your point, now you can do that for the same price that a guy was paying for digital night vision.
I used to sell a digital night vision scope many years ago that was more expensive than this thermal, and it sold very well.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a place for this for a lot of folks.
Yeah. We talked a lot about somebody getting into thermal. Now, it's more accessible to the greater audience. What is one thing you would warn a first-time thermal buyer? They got their new scope, they got it zeroed, they're ready to go hunting. What's one thing that Pliny would warn somebody on before you go out on that first hunt?
I think figure it out at home. Sit there while you're watching Netflix or listening to a podcast. Maybe you're listening to this podcast, but sit there, read through the manual. Maybe don't read through all of it, but understand how it works before you're out in the field just fiddling around with stuff. That and charge your battery.
Yeah.
This has an internal battery that'll save you, but it'll only save you so far. So make sure you got a fresh one. So those are the 2 things I would recommend. Learn it before you take it out. Don't screw around with it in the field.
Yeah. Know your button use, know where it goes. Like we said earlier about the scope, how user-friendly it is. Once you get that one-shot zero done, all you really need to know is your 2 other buttons on by the power button, which is going to be your camera for photo and video, your palette change, and then your top turret. Once you know those 3, get used to it, twist the turret, mess with the digital zoom a little, but also know how to use your rangefinder, turning it on, turning it off. After that, you're set. Just know how to use your buttons, because when you're hunting at nighttime, you can't see them.
Yeah.
You got to know where they are by memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody, how about you?
Angelo, there's a lot of guys that are going to buy this product that have never been thermal hunting before. And I just want to tell you guys, not every field has a coyote in it. In fact, you'll be really surprised how many places don't have anything you can shoot at all.
Yeah.
Growing up hunting with a spotlight, our theory was that he's always just in the wood line, or, he's just out of range of the spotlight. There's got to be something in this field. There's not as much out there in the dark as you think. If you're afraid of the dark, get you a thermal, go outside. You'll be shocked at the lack of animals you see some nights.
Yeah. And I think the thing that people will have kind of their aha moment is the amount of ground you can scan and cover with thermal. Like, you might be in a 600-acre field.
Yeah.
You can scan that whole thing, make sure nothing's there.
There's a field outside of where I deer hunt that you can see 1,000 yards across. It's probably 300 yards wide. I pick it apart in 15 seconds. It's almost boring. You pull up, look around, okay, nothing's there. Let's move on. And it's just that quick.
Yeah. No, it really allows you to have a more efficient
Yeah, absolutely.
night. You know, you can go out, like you said earlier, you can go out for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You can cover a lot of ground. You know, you're not going to sit there and just waiting, hoping.
Yeah.
You know, you'll know there's something there. You're going to see it. Chris, what's one way that somebody can make sure that they're going to have fun? Because at the end of the day, it's hunting. You want to have fun. Like, what's something that you think people might take too serious, or maybe set the bar too high and kind of beat themselves up over, you know, when they go out on their first hunt?
Not every night you're going to kill 20 animals. You got to go in it just hoping to see something, because not every night's a win.
Yeah.
A win, as dumb and cliche it is, a win is going hunting in general, but also hunting with a friend. If we're all going together, us four, and going hunting, we're together, we're having fun. If we don't kill something, oh well. But go in open-minded. Don't go in saying, oh, I'm going to go see 100 hogs and I'm going to go kill 50 of them. Sometimes you're over-promising and under-delivering to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I would tell people is to under-promise and over-deliver, and just go in it with an open mind, because once you get your first one, like these 2 bolts, you're digging yourself a hole.
Yeah.
And you're going to get addicted real fast.
Just like with any type of hunting, do your homework, do a little scouting. If you've got trail cameras and you see a coyote on camera every day, go sit in the field. You treat it like a deer hunt, you know. If you hear them howling in the same place every night, you know, don't go set up somewhere else. Go set up where you're hearing them at every single night. I mean, put yourself in a position to succeed. These are tools, and very powerful tools at that, but they don't go do the work for you. The work still has to be done. And
Yeah.
so if you go in with the mindset of, this is going to allow me to see what I'm able to call in, it won't call them in for you, but it'll let you see them when they're there.
Yeah. Yeah. You still got to get your boots in the dirt, right?
Oh, you still got to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're going to take your knocks, and there's going to be good nights and bad nights. And I mean, shoot, you were telling me before the podcast about how Monday wasn't the best time, but
Still had
yeah,
fun.
it just works out that way sometimes, you know. And you see everyone that doesn't have a thermal sees the guys with thermal and just a pickup bed full of coyotes, and they're thinking, I'm going to go out, like Chris said, we're going to go shoot 20 tonight.
Yeah.
If you go shoot 1, great. You know, that's awesome. If you go shoot 10, that's great too. But you don't need to have big numbers to have a successful night.
Yeah. Just need to have fun, have a good story.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, Angelo? I'm not saying you're old, but you got some more wisdom than all of us, and you have a lot more years hunting. What do you think is something that would be beneficial to those first-time hunters?
Don't take too much crap into the field.
Great tip. That's
You know,
a great tip.
I made it a point. I still do it.
Mm-hmm.
I still do it. 2 weekends ago, went to Oklahoma. I took so much stuff that I didn't even touch at all.
Yeah.
And I wasted so much time, during the day. And that's another thing, we joked about it yesterday morning. It's a blessing to have so much time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a curse, because when you have all day before you're going to go out and night hunt, you forget to zero your rifle. You
Well,
forget to charge your batteries. You forget
Yeah.
to load your mag. You forget to get your stuff in order.
Yeah.
And then it's dark.
Or you fiddle with everything all day long, and you focus so much on all the BS you don't need for this hunt that you look like Santa Claus with a big old bag over his shoulders when you're walking into the field. I mean, you've got 10,000 things, and you need a gun, you need a scanner, and you need a collar, and
Yeah.
you can go shoot a coyote. You don't even need a collar if you're going pig hunting.
Yeah, Monday I took 2 rifles. One was already zeroed. Second one was putting a bolt on it. All I had to do was get up to the range, zero 1 rifle. I knew my batteries were charged. I didn't take cords and chargers. I just took batteries.
Yep.
It was so nice. I had 3 boxes of ammo for each rifle. Went, enjoyed myself, had spare time, was relaxed. I wasn't in a hurry. When it's time to go hunt, I grabbed my dot bag with my batteries and ammo in it. I grabbed my rifle and I went. And I actually had a lot better time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm notorious. I take a big Pelican case with tools and, spare this and spare that. And then you're digging through it. You're trying to keep track of everything.
Oh, yeah.
And it really is more enjoyable to just go be in
Yeah.
the moment, hang out with the guys you're hunting with, hunt, and then just take it in for what it is, not
Yeah.
make it a stressful situation.
Yeah. Well, I think it's slow down and remember that you're out there to enjoy it. And I think a lot of this is kind of just social media FOMO culture that we just, like you were saying, you see the truck bed full of hogs, and we have those nights, and sometimes you don't. But what probably got all of us into this is just the curiosity of having a device that can just unlock the night, that we have this little superpower that we can now use to our advantage. Enjoy that and focus on having fun, being safe, and going out there and learning the equipment and getting better and better and better at it, and not kicking yourself because you're not, knocking down a just giant pile of coyotes all the time.
Yeah, you don't have to fill the truck bed.
Yeah, just have fun and learn.
Yeah,
Ooh.
go out and get some.
Don't forget to load your first round. Don't walk up, see a pig or dog, and
Sounds like a man that's done that before.
I might have done it
Oh,
once or
we've
twice.
all done it.
First getting into the adrenaline's so high on your first hunt that you're trying to be quiet, get out of the truck, close the door without slamming it, walk in, make sure you're not stepping on brush, just to get there and be like, pull the trigger and your bolt's still held open.
My,
You haven't even closed the bolt.
favorite thing is when we all get out of the truck and everyone's real quiet. We close the door. One click, two click on the door, ease the tripods out of the bed of the truck. And then you look over and a guy just taps the button on his AR and wham, slams the bolt shut.
I thought you were going to say wham, slam the door. But same.
No,
result.
I think a
Same
bolt crew
thing.
group might be louder than the car door, the truck door.
It's also,
Oh, I've done
I
it.
feel like the pigs that are in some of the places we're hunting probably become accustomed to that sound as a let's get out of here type
Yeah.
noise.
Well, I think speaking of noise on an AR is the safety.
Yeah.
People don't realize how loud that is. You get
Yeah.
excited, you flip that safety switch. That's
Yeah.
a loud sound
Mhm.
in the middle of the night.
And you know what's hilarious? We do some hunts where we'll, say something to the pig or the coyote, hey, whistle at him, whatever. And it seems like you can never make them stop when you're screaming at them. Flick that safety off and they lock up like they just got shined a spotlight on them.
Yeah, get an aggressive flick at safety one time. You won't do that again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you might not get invited back to hunt with
That's
them.
ruined a couple of good turkey hunts for me, too.
Yeah.
Same deal. Yeah.
Well, on that, we'll wrap this one up. It's time to get to the coffee pot. Make sure you like and subscribe so you're the first to know when we drop a new episode. If you have any questions on the bolt or anything else Nocpix related, leave them in the comments below and we will address those on next week's episode. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.